Hello, my darling cupies. I'm tired. And a wee bit pissed. But I'll lay at myself. If I knew how to use technology better, I'd be less pissed. This is the 6th time I've had to record this video. As you can imagine, I'm quite tired. So after Wheeling Pride, we went to an art show at this local venue. Just a small little place it was. It was just a little punk show, truthfully. And lots of screaming, honestly. I think it was punk. There were certainly a lot of cross punks there. It could have been emo. Hell if I know. We all blur the lines so much between all these alt subcultures so much that it's hard to really tell. I mean, look at me. I started out as an emo, had a punk moment, packed up my punk gear in 2019-ish, or at least the bulk of it. Then my main jacket I packed up in the past year or so, actually. My main cross jacket. But the thought process, that never leaves you, and the appreciation for some of the music, that'll never leave, just like my appreciation for goth music and emo and grunge will never leave. Like, I appreciate them, a lot of alternative musics, just as much as I appreciate a lot of the fashion. So anywho, we're at this show. Oh man, and the smell in there. It smelled so strongly. You could smell it outside. Like outside the building, you could just smell strong waves of sweat, body odor, and swamp ass just wafting out. And you're like, yeah, you know, it's a good show and it smells like that. If it ain't smelling like some stank ass, then it ain't really a good show. They're not putting in a lot of energy, and neither is the crowd. And therefore nobody's having fun. But good lord, gag a maggot with that smell you could. So anyway, the show's going on. Lovely it is. I learned that this band plays there quite often. Basically to such an extent that they're basically the primary band that plays at this venue. So they're just a small local band, and I'm like dead excited about that because it's like, oh my god, finally, local music. And then I'm sitting there like, I wonder, because you know I've always wanted to get into making music and such, but yeah, like that's like been my lifelong dream actually, more so than being a doctor. Being a doctor would just be dead fascinating. Making music is where my heart actually is. I just am musically illiterate and dead scared that I'll fail, so I kind of stand in my own way, actively. Too afraid that I'm going to actually end up confirming my fear that I'm actually not cut out to be a musician. So I'd rather live with not knowing and not trying than to live with the failure, I guess. Such stupid logic. I'm still working to get past that, though. I really am. I'm slowly working away at that. Because I refuse to be defeated like this. But anyway, that's off topic. So, it starts pouring down, and we're thinking, thank God. Thank holy fuck. Because it had been hot all day. And we needed it. We needed a wee bit of rain to cool it down a wee bit. We did. And that's what we thought it was going to do, is we thought it was just going to be one of those quick downpours, drops the temperature dead fast, and then it's over. We were wrong. So we head out. It's still pouring down rain, and we're like, usually it doesn't happen this way. Usually it's done pouring down by now. So we start driving up. Ophi starts driving me back to my dorm, and the roads start filling up dead fast, okay? Dead fast. By the time we're driving through them, we're driving dead slow. We're all driving very, very slow because it's terrifying. It really is. There's more than 6 inches of water on the roads at this point, and it's all rushing on. Additional water is rushing on. Rain is still coming out of the sky, mind you. So more water is being added. And it's not going anywhere. None of it's draining. It's just being added. So the roads are flooding up really quick. We can feel the car kind of sway a wee bit as the current tries to take us. Now, mind you, it's an SUV with excellent four-wheel drive. We have driven through grass, through all manner of terrain. Actually, I could probably take the thing and just drive up a mountain with it, probably. And it'd handle it just dead fine, really. Long as she's got the gas for it, I reckon she'd do just fine. That car, cause it handles everything quite well. But no, this was too much water. And it was either this or like, it was either this or like Ophi could take me with her to her parents' house, but her parents would shoot me dead or call the cops because they hate my guts, and in their eyes I'm a villain. I'm the bad guy. No getting past that. So yeah. So here we are, risking our necks to get me to the dorm. She actually ends up stuck with me for the night because they ended up, like, just after we get through the roads to get here, they close all the roads. Because by this point, they're all flooded. It is an active hazard and danger. And they're like, if you're going to be stupid enough to risk it on these roads and you're going to still drive on them, we're going to close them, because obviously you fucking can't make the good sense to realize that you shouldn't be driving on them anyway. And so she was stuck here with me for the night, which pissed her parents off. Surely it did. But yeah. That flooding was like dead terrifying. And the thing is we're not even done. The flood warning is still on until tonight. So far, the part of Bethany I'm in is relatively safe. We're at the higher parts of the hill, and there's not really a creek very close to the part I'm at. But the parts that you have to drive through to get to and from here, there's lots of creeks. And from what I've heard, a lot of water. So yeah, a lot of plans got cancelled this week as a result. Ended up not working, which is fine. Not like I can work at the present moment anyway. Not with the current state of things. And then, so there's been massive flooding. Apparently it's made the news. I find it dead funny how my own family doesn't get it hasn't. Look. I have been out of energy for days. This whole thing has had me absolutely beat. My insomnia has been kicking my ass all summer. I'm tired. And I just have no spoons. I can't recall the last time I had a spoon. Really. I can tell more is coming. Yesterday, the crows were freaking out. Like, all day. I showed a tiny clip of one of the instances of them, like, screeching their chaos. And that was one of the more peaceful moments of them screeching their chaos. They actually, as the day went on yesterday, they actually got worse, where it was, like, pure chaos. Like, entire armies of them were all crowing. Chaotically and without any kind of rhyme or reason, and it was just an absolute, it was chaos. It just sounded like panicked alarm, really. And today I haven't heard but one crow off in the very far distance. So I don't know if that means anything. But I do know one thing. I haven't got any place to go, so what else will I do but shelter in place? I'm on the second floor, I'll leave. Probably. If not, then suppose these would be the last vlogs I would upload, wouldn't I? God, could you imagine dying in fucking West Virginia and all this flooding before I even fucking... just in the summer, after I finally am like, let's get my life together. I can finally go to college now that my dad's not in my way. Could you imagine? But I reckon God would be so spiteful, huh? I reckon. In fact, for warning me yesterday, I did indeed feed the crows some of my very nice trail mix. Because I got the unsalted sort. It consisted of dried fruits, like raisins, dried blueberries, and craisins, predominantly, and cashews, and almonds, and walnuts. Yes. Scrummy. But yeah, it was like really nice trail mix. And I was like, okie dokie, feeding it to the fae. Because, the crows, in my opinion, they're fae. So yeah, I gave them, tossed out some for them. I don't usually do that very often. I try not to waste, but they were all very stressed out, and I figured they were giving me a great deal of heads up. I may as well feed them a wee bit. It's awesome. They're gonna trust me eventually. They are. I'm gonna have a murder of crows become part of my family. They really are. And I've already learned to understand what they're saying and communicating. I can tell the difference between their, hey, I'm just checking up on you, this is where I'm at, and there's nothing going on, versus their, hey, there's food here, and their, hey, there's, I've learned the difference between their calls. I know what they're saying. So it's like, this will be actually a very good crucial skill, survival-wise, I feel. Because if you can listen to and understand what the birds around you are saying, you can use this information for your own benefit. But yeah, yesterday they were all out of sorts, and I was like, whoa. Speaking of crows, there was one. But yeah, so flooding and shit. right immediately after Pride. I reckon someone's probably going to be like, look, it's God showing you your guys are abhorrent or something. If anyone comments any such thing, I'll laugh. If God actually gave a shit what we do, to such an extent about who we enter consensual relationships with, to where he would flood us out for something as stupid as pride, I reckon that he would be punishing a lot more people for a lot worse and more egregious crimes. Because there are people with blood on their hands who have done far worse to far more innocent people. To consenting adults, nobody's getting hurt. An entire society of people dying by the hand of your greed. So many are getting hurt. And that flies in the face of the Christian idea anyway. So if any Christians are going to be, look, it's proof, you can shove it up your ass. And know that Jesus rejects you from heaven too. It makes me so happy, knowing that none of us fucking get in. None of us deserve it. Yeah, I know, I still need sleep. I don't normally... Look, I just unravel in the summertime. In the winter, I'm a perfectly sane person. It's just in the summer, I lose all of my sleep. Which then causes me to doom spiral, which then makes me a wee bit erratic. But it's just because my body's miserable in the summer and it won't let me goddamn sleep. And that's when the really dark thoughts start creeping in, because then it's like, oh, okay, so God won't let me sleep now, huh? Okay. We can solve that, We can have a very permanent sleep. Those kinds of thoughts start creeping in, and it's like, oh, okay, edgelord, we need to dial that back a wee bit. Maybe sit down, crochet a wee bit. Just kind of do anything to escape from within your own head. Oh God, there's so much debris on me feet. Ah. I have a little tiny rug right next to the bed. I have to wipe my feet off. Oh, they're not clean enough. But, yeah. I recognize that it's cringe or whatever, the way that I'm crashing out without sleep, but I'm still here, and that says something. I think it does, because normally it used to be that after the first day of sleep deprivation, I'd very quickly start thinking, okie dokie, time to start plotting my exit. It really used to be that extreme that quickly. To be fair, my body starts shutting down, and so does my mind, and my mental health goes to shit very quickly. So, in my defense, I think it's not overly extreme a reaction. I think it's quite proportionate to the reaction my body gives me, frankly. But, society doesn't understand or care, and is a manipulative, cunt. frankly. Forces you to fucking stay here against your fucking will. Stay here. People will miss you. And what about me missing sleep? Stay here, or else you're a terrible, selfish person for having done this to all these other people. It's like, yeah, but what about those other people being selfish and awful for keeping me here against me will? Like, the argument can always be turned round. The argument that's made can always be turned back. That's the thing, as like any argument that anyone makes to, stay alive or whatever, I can make it an equally valid argument against it. Like, as if I don't have these debates perpetually inside of my head every summer. Every summer of my goddamn life.